3 days ago, this whole count rested on one line overhead, and that line now sits under the market with the refusal one rung higher. Ethereum trades at 1,906, up about 2% on the day, momentum in the mid-50s, and it sits inside a narrow corridor between the two bands that have decided this entire week. The terms were written down before any of it happened. The band overhead had never been touched, and one close over the graduation at 1,882 would reopen it. That is precisely what the tape did. 1 hour settled over the graduation at 1,895, and the very next hour settled over the band at 1,916, $15 clear of it. 19 hourly candles have printed since it broke. 17 of them closed above the band, and the 2 that did not, both in the quiet hours before dawn, finished within $3 of it. On the terms published here, the low is now a bottom. The frame that produced both lines has not moved. 5 waves up from 1,512 to 1,981, then one correction down to 1,822. Every level today graduates that fall. The next graduation of that same fall sits at 1,920, and the repair line carried here for a week sits just under it. Together they are the second band. 4 separate hours have traded through the floor of that pair, the best of them reaching 1,928, and each of those 4 hours ended back underneath it before the next one opened. Not one close has finished above either edge. The best of the whole recovery is 1,918, a single dollar under the floor. Read as a retracement, it takes 60% of the fall, and the golden graduation asks for nearly 62. The rung below showed the same behavior first. The graduation was pierced once, refused once, and taken 4 hours later. This one has now been pierced 4 times and refused 4 times across 18 hours. The high at 1,928 takes 2/3 of the fall back, and it still stops $9 under the peak, the correction itself printed on the way down. One structural detail stops the advance being labeled an impulse. The first leg topped at 1,898, and the pullback since reached 1,895, $3 inside it. A fourth wave may not do that, so this reads as 3. For all the argument overhead, the downside case was never asked a question. The worst print in 3 days is 1,836, $8 above the higher low and almost 15 above the break low, and the door beneath was never approached. The averages read the same way. The 20 lost the 50 for 17 hours and took it straight back, and 46 closes running have held above the 50. Price just slipped under the 20. Upward the ladder is short and specific. The refused pair first, then the correction's own peak, then the next graduation at 1,947. Downward it is the band just taken, then the graduation, then the twins. So the video comes down to 2 gates in order. One close above 1,920 turns 4 refusals into a break and opens that peak. A close back under 1,901 hands the whole reclaim back. Educational analysis, never financial advice. Subscribe so the next count finds you, like the video if it earned it, and pass it on.